I'm Dave Blackburn, and I'm producing a documentary film. The movie weaves together two similar but different stories. One is the story of Eddie the King Feigner. Eddie Feigner was simply the most famous softball pitcher that ever lived. His four-man softball team, it was kind of like the Globetrotters of softball, and the team was called the King and His Court. Well, I was inspired when I was a 5-year-old when I saw my father pitch a game against the King and His Court, and it profoundly influenced me to become a softball pitcher. Just like my idol, I used my right arm as a passport to see the world.
It is with great honor that I am here to help assist Dave with this movie, to tell this story and to raise funds to get this out there. The summer of 1958, I would witness an event so incredible, so unbelievable, so athletic. How's this possible? Was anybody else in the stands feeling what I was feeling that night? I said, I gotta learn to do what that man in the crew cut does, or I'll die. And amazingly, I made this happen. But fast forward, it's 54 years later, and in front of a packed house that night, I would pitch and then retire the team for the last time. What made us such a phenomenon was we were in small town America every night, playing against the local all-stars. And what it did was it took this team around the world to 100 countries, some 14,000 games. This was truly the greatest show on dirt. The last of the great barnstormers. Dreams come true. I'm a living testimony.
The other story of a regular guy who through dreams and passion was also able to travel the world. The last 25 years of my life, I went on 10 international softball trips where I was the primary pitcher for the National Jewish All-Star team. Our team was sponsored by Maccabi USA, the nation's sports club for elite Jewish athletes, and I was proud to be a member of that team. I got a chance to travel, evolve, and grow personally. I learned a whole lot about my place in the world and my family's Jewish heritage in ways that I could have never otherwise experienced.
And just about when we were closing down the King and His Court, on our last tour ever, we asked Big Dave Blackburn to be a part of our show and pitch some games for us as we toured the South for the last time.
The reason I didn't go on that final 2011 King and His Court tour was because in August of 2010, I was a passenger in a head-on automobile accident. I broke 27 bones and I was in a coma for 54 days. I did a 10-month hospital stay. I lost my right leg in the process.
They couldn't kill his spirit. When I first saw him laying there, couldn't throw the ball anymore.
I've been in a wheelchair since I got out of the hospital.
This is his life. I know what this game meant to him because it meant the same thing to me.
And this wasn't the way I wanted to say goodbye to softball.
Well, this story is connected to that.
I've been invited to go to Israel in the summer of 2013 and participate in marching into the stadium with Team USA for the opening ceremonies and end this 33-year softball odyssey in a way that's satisfying to me.
He's my inspiration.
If you're passionate about men's fast pitch softball, Eddie Feigner and the King and His Court, Maccabi USA and the quadrennial World Maccabi Games in Israel, pride in Jewish athletics, then you should support this movie. The real heroes of this movie are you, my friends, my relatives, my former teammates, former opponents, and people I know from around the world. It is you guys who can help the dream come true of making this movie and being the real heroes by supporting this crowdfunding campaign.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. I need some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care.